The defending Overwatch World Cup gold medalists are ready to roll. The United States of America has officially unveiled their roster for the 2023 Overwatch World Cup tournament. Their team is Ultraviolet and OG at support, Hydron, Speedily, and Sugar-Free at DPS. And on tank, we have Kaluge and surprise, surprise, Super is back. After a year off from any sort of competitive play, Super is ready to put his name back out there and show the world why he is a former champion. For anyone who hasn't been paying attention to the tryouts, it may seem a little surprising to see Super make the team, but honestly, he didn't look that bad. He streamed all of his close tryouts that he got invited to, and he definitely held his own and showed that he can still be a competitive tank player at the highest level. Aside from the fact that he's still a decent player, just having him here is great PR. It's going to make people even more interested in Team USA, so this is a great move through and through. And the team itself, it really might be my favorite roster Team USA has ever fielded, even more so than the World Cup gold medalist from 2019. Aside from Super, this team is basically the future of North American Overwatch. These are the guys that people have been waiting to see compete at this level for years. They dominated contenders for all that time. They were the obvious future, and the future is now. They're here to not just dominate the league, but also the World Cup. This roster as a whole is very respectable, and if you want to think about it from a more detailed approach, going position by position, tank, I think they did the right thing. I like the idea of running Kaluge and Super. Kaluge can't really do everything by himself just yet. He showed his hero pool is pretty decent, but he does have weaknesses, and by having Super there as a backup plan, you can have Kaluge focus a bit more on the things he is the strongest at, and you can still have him play the Winston if you want to. But if Wrecking Ball comes around, if Reinhardt comes around, you can put Super in there as someone who's just more experienced on the main tank role, and you won't be losing that much because Super himself is an excellent in-game leader. He has shown that time and time again throughout his career. Now, I mostly expect Kaluge to be in there unless the meta really favors Super, just because while Super is a great communicator, obviously the team will feel the most confident with Kaluge in there. He has been a leader and friend of the rest of his teammates for a long time. They'll just feel the best with him in the game, I feel, and he probably can play more heroes at the level you're looking for. But if you're looking for someone who's just better at the individual main tanks, depending on the meta, Super might be your guy. I don't think the United States had a versatile enough tank option, so I like the idea of running two. But what I'm not as confident in is only running two support players. I like Ultraviolet and OG. I think they're a fantastic, well-proven duo, but they don't quite have the flexibility of some of these other solid rosters, and that could make them pay the price in the long run. OG is obviously a fine main support. He can play Lucio well, his Brig's good enough, but in those double flex support compositions, I don't really know how he holds up. And we all know that double flex support has proven to be prevalent at times in the Overwatch League over the last year or so. So you're taking a big risk by depending on OG in those potential scenarios. Ultraviolet though, I have a bit more confidence in to mostly hold his own. He's just a good flex support option. He's proven that he can be reliable at the Overwatch League level. He looked pretty good in the Pro-Am recently. He's got some good explosiveness to him. I like his game a lot. He is someone I expect to hold his own in the individual matchup battle against most, if not all, other flex supports in the World Cup. But in those scenarios where you're playing double flex support, I think he may not be able to do enough on his own. And if we're relying on OG, I just don't know how that goes. There's a real possibility that he either improves significantly on those heroes, or we don't have to worry about those metas at all, but you're leaving it up to chance at that point. And you want to have the most versatile, flexible roster that you can to ensure that you're prepared for any scenario. RuPaul and Landon were right there for the taking. They were both solid options that would just completely round out your support line and give you no worries there at all. But instead they decided to go with two flex DPS players, which is an interesting decision. Now, from a surface level understanding, yeah, I get it. Typically you have 3 DPS players on a team. You want to have one sub. But when you have two flex DPS with similar hero pools, I don't really know how that works. Sugar-Free and Speedily both did very well in their trials, don't get me wrong. But do they add enough versatility to make it worth having them both? Do they possess enough disparity where it feels like their hero pools are different enough to both make contributions that are useful to you? Because to me, it kind of feels like their hero pools overlap a lot. Maybe you prefer like Speedily and the Echo, of course, or Sugar-Free's Genji a bit more. But what's the difference with like their Tracer play and their Sombra? It sucks because I love both players. Both of them are excellent and have so much potential to completely ravage the competition. But when you have both, it almost feels like a waste in a way. What if like double hit scan happens? Or what if there's a sniper-centric meta? How trustworthy can they be next to Hydron? Who else is going to consistently carry the burden and be a star? Again, generally, this won't be an issue. Most teams, this is going to be fine. It's not going to be something you have to worry about. But when it comes down to the big dogs, when there's a lot of different variants on what you could play, how do they stack up? Given what they're working with compared to most other countries in the world, I'd say expectations for the United States will be reasonably high this year, and I'd argue most fans would say that it would be a disappointment if they don't at least get to the bronze medal match. Top 3 is what they should be aiming for. Nobody expects them to win the gold, but they should be capable of getting silver or bronze. Much like China, I just feel like the United States falls short of Korea's power. They don't have as many superstars, they're not as scary on paper, but at least they do have the synergy and a lot of rising stars and the veteran presence of Super to maybe stand a chance. I'd say them and China probably have the best chance of combating Korea or giving them a decent fight bare minimum. I'm super pumped to see if they can make this country proud yet again and get some sort of medal. Even if it's not the gold, I think the goal should be to either get that bronze or silver. If they can do that much, I'd be very proud of them. They have everything they need to make it happen. They've got a veteran who's already done this before. They've got the coaching. They have confidence. They have good teamwork. Lots of Overwatch League caliber talent. Now it's a matter of going out there and putting in the work. It'll be very exciting to watch this team take the stage this fall in honor of America. Let me know what you think about the United States roster in the comments below. Are they better than I think? Or worse? Do you think they're capable of getting a medal? Let me know all your thoughts. If you enjoyed this Overwatch World Cup news video and you want more just like it, give this video a big fat thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of my future content. And until next time, this is ATP, signing out. Peace.